Hey, what's up, everybody, man? So the Eagles have agreed to trade Wentz to the Colts for a 2021 third-round pick and a conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first-round pick. For the people that's curious as to how that can turn into a first-round pick, all the Eagles need is for the Colts to play Carson Wentz for at least 75% of their offensive snaps, and that will help them land a first-round pick in this trade. So, to be honest with y'all, this was a great deal for the Indianapolis Colts. Looking at the Colts situation, they have no quarterback. Phillip Rivers was their quarterback, but Phillip Rivers is retired now. Just looking at the quarterbacks that's on the roster, they got Jacob Eason, who they drafted in the 4th round last year, but there's reports surfing around that they aren't even sure if he can be a second-string quarterback, Jacoby Brissett was the second-string quarterback last year, but he's now a free agent. Even if they decide to bring him back, they already know that he's not going to take them to the next level. So, when you look at their other options as far as trade market, they already missed out on dudes such as Matt Stafford. They missed out on Jared Goff. They could still hop into the sweepstakes for Deshaun Watson, but let's be honest here. They're not going to get Deshaun Watson. That's a division rival. Plus, Deshaun Watson is going to require them to give up way more than what they have to give up just to get Carson Wentz. So, next you look at free agency, right? Looking at the candidates in free agency, Dak Prescott is the only real candidate that would help them take themselves to the next level. Dak Prescott is not going anywhere. I understand that the Cowboys, they're acting like little girls. They being a little bit stubborn about that $40,000, which I agree. But they're going to pay him, man. Unless they franchise tag him again, which I would not recommend Dak Prescott to sign, they're going to give in and give him that $40 million. They just going to have to take the L if it turns out to be an L. So Dak Prescott, 9 times out of 10, is not really a free agent. You got Mitch Trubisky on the market. Mitch Trubisky is boof. Cam Newton is boof. Actually, let me go back to Mitch Trubisky. He's inconsistent. Ryan Fitzpatrick, high-tier backup at most. Jameis Winston is trash. Andy Dalton proved last year that he's still trash, but worse. Joe Flacco is washed. And then you got CJ Beathard. Well, I'm not putting my eggs into that basket, you feel me? All the other candidates are trash. You even got Tyrod Taylor, boof, you feel me? So, the free agency market is not looking good for a team that's looking to get a quarterback. Even when you look at the draft market, you got to remember the Colts were a playoff team last year. If they go into the draft, they're not picking until the late 20s or the early 20s because they got eliminated early, right? The odds of them drafting the quarterback in the 20s and him being ready day one to be the starter and him taking them to the next level is very unlikely and just very risky, That's not something the Colts want to do right now because they can't afford to take any steps backwards. They have a good defense. They got a good coaching staff. They got some good weapons on offense. They need to make sure the head dude at quarterback is legit. So they can't afford to take any risk here, Which is why they hopped back into the trade market and hit up the Eagles for Carson Wentz, who's still on the market. And they were smart about negotiating with the Eagles. They said, hey, I understand you guys are waxing for Carson Wentz. You guys want a stimulus package for Carson Wentz. And I understand why. When we look at Carson Wentz's career, Carson Wentz has proved he can play at a high level. Carson Wentz had an MVP candidate season 2 years ago. I understand that you want to make sure that if he leaves and balls out, you receive the proper compensation. But there's also a high chance that if he comes to us, he could follow up and have another bad season. It's also possible that Carson Wentz could get hurt here because he is injury prone. I don't think there's a season that Carson Wentz hasn't dealt with injuries with you guys. So, how about we do this? We get this 3rd round pick for now. I would give you the 2nd round pick too for this year, but we got to build our team just like you. So next year, we'll give you a 2nd round pick. But to be fair, if we get our money's worth out of Carson Wentz, we will turn that into a 1st round pick for you guys. The Eagles, they said, cool. They go send a deal, and boom, the Colts got them a new quarterback. And I feel like this is a good deal because it's a low risk move. They didn't really give up too much. Plus, Carson Wentz, if he plays like old Carson Wentz, he is definitely going to give them a chance to get better than what they were this year. He's definitely going to give them a chance to elevate the offense. I've seen Carson Wentz work with limited to nothing on offense. Carson Wentz definitely shown that he can ball out, and I think he got something else some more in the tank. Also, the Colts have something to be confident about because their offensive coach, well, their head coach, Frank Rich, was Carson Wentz's offensive coordinator during his MVP candidate season. So they're confident that Carson Wentz is going to snap back to his old self with the guidance of Frank Rich, So it's a good move for the Colts. And if they lose the trade, they just lose. They'll just have to go ahead and hop into the quarterback market again. But it's definitely a good move and a low-risk move for the Colts. Now, as far as the Eagles, you might as well go ahead and say they're honestly going to get a first-round pick and a third-round pick for Carson Wentz. Not a bad trade at all. As far as the way it's structured, it was the most realistic deal that the Eagles could get. Nobody's really feeling like giving up a first-round pick for a quarterback that's coming off a bad season and injury probe, So that was the most realistic deal they were going to get for Carson Wentz. I just fear that this deal is going to come back to haunt them, because Carson Wentz is not really a scrub, He just had one bad year, and it was not all his fault. He had a bad O-line, iffy receivers, really couldn't get open. He had receivers dropping passes, injuries at receiver, you name it. He's been doing that for years. It's just last year, it just caused him to play bad on top of himself, just playing bad, So, it's a good chance that he'll go to the Colts, which is definitely a better situation for him, and shine. And it's possible that the quarterback that they have right now, Jalen Hurts, may flop. If you want to go see my film analysis I got up on him, go check it out. I got it, I got it on my channel. I'll leave it at the end of my video. But I'm not going to say I'm scared that he will flop, but there's a chance that he'll flop. Because last year, all he pretty much showed was that he could step into the quarterback position and provide high mobility and pick up yards, which is great for a quarterback, don't get me wrong. But outside of that, there's a lot of question marks as far as his accuracy, as far as his arm. It's a lot of question marks left. It's a lot of question marks that we did not find out about Jalen Hurts. And I've seen quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts fail in the league. We all have. So it's a chance that they may lose this trade simply because Carson Wentz will go on and have a better season and better career, and maybe Jalen Hurts may flop. But even if that does happen, you got to admit, at least they are getting some decent compensation for Carson Wentz, man. But that's pretty much how I feel. I don't feel like anybody really got finessed here. I feel like it was a great deal, and I feel like hopefully both sides, have success. They said that Jalen Hurts is not automatically going to get the starting job. They said they're going to bring in competition, but let's be real here. They go start Jalen Hurts, man. They probably going to start him. But that's how I feel about the situation. Let me know how y'all think about the trade. If you feel like one team won or one team lost. Let me know how y'all feel. And do you feel like Carson Wentz can revive himself with the Colts? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. And I got some more content coming soon.